My family's sitting over there. It's so good to have them. I'm glad when everybody else decided not to come, at least y'all came and they gave me somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Somebody. So thank y'all so much. So very, very much. I'll tell you what, did y'all, let's slide this over here. This morning, I actually want to talk about and preach about being ourselves. And that's something that's been on my heart and my mind for the past couple of months. I can't get away from it. Being ourselves and being who God has called us to be, and not only being who God's called us to be, but be it in the way that He has called you. So if you'll go ahead and start that song this morning. Trust in God, believe in God. Just get lost within His presence this morning. What if I told you I'd seen something that nobody else could see? And if I told you that the angels had been talking to me, well, would you merely think me foolish, that my senses I had lost? No, I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. Oh, I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. And He's drawing me closer to the one I love the most. And I'm keeping company with a heavenly host. And I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. Now if you try to tell me something and I just misunderstood, if I'm too heavenly minded to be any earthly good, well, if you're scared of my religion, then you had better not get close, because I'm lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. Oh, I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. And He's drawing me closer to the one I love the most. And I'm keeping company with a heavenly host. And I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. Now if you think I'm out of order, 'cause I can't stay in my seat, and if you think I'm blaspheming 'cause they's dancing in my feet, well, I can hardly hear you talking. See, I'm not listening very well, because I'm plugged into the power, and I'm about to have a spell. Oh, I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. And He's drawing me closer and closer to the one I love the most. And I'm keeping company with a heavenly host. And I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. So I'm just lost in the presence of the sweet Holy Ghost. Amen. Being plugged, I like that one verse that says I'm being plugged into the power. You know, if I go over here and get one of these microphones and I plug it into the amp system, that's a pretty good microphone. It's got the power, it works, it does what it's supposed to do. Now, that microphone ain't going to shine no light. One little button that might show you if you got something going wrong. Microphone ain't going to shine a light. If I go and take a toaster and plug a toaster into the wall, man, I can put my bread in it. It's going to cook that bread just right, or my little Danish, or my whatever, you know. It's going to cook it up, brown it. It's going to do what it is supposed to do when it's plugged into the power. That's what it was built for. It's what it's made for. Take a lamp. Plug a lamp into the source.
guess what happens? Boy, you turn that bulb on, and it puts off the light. Now, I guess it could cook and brown that bread. Was it long enough and a hot enough bulb? It might could, but it's never going to amplify nobody's voice nor noise because it's not made to do that. Everything is made with and for a purpose. Plain and simple. Now, if we all as Christians will realize that God has made us for a specific purpose and a specific plan. Not just to worship and to praise Him, but to go out and to do His bidding, and to go out, the Bible says, the Great Commission, to go into all of the world, to preach the gospel, to bring sinners in, back to the fold, right? That's what we're all supposed to do. But we all do it different ways. We can have a dinner, man, we draw the folks in. That toaster works. That toaster does what it's supposed to do. Man, the cooks, world's best cook sitting right over here, could have brought us in some folks for that meal. We could have had the folks come in for, you put that title, world's best cook right here, they're going to come. People will come and eat, see what's there. You put a thing on there, a light show at Stone Mountain. What are people going to do? They're going to go and see those lights. Those lights are doing what they was built to do. When we realize what we're built to do, what we are made to do in God's kingdom, man, there ain't no stopping us. There is no stopping you once you realize your full capacity, your full talents that God has got for you, and then you plug yourself up. If we was to sit there, now this one is battery operated, so it's kind of like whatever. But if I turn this off, it don't work. I'm not plugged up. I'm not set up into the way I'm supposed to do. But if I plug it back up into the battery source here and turn it back on, you see it works, and it works right. It looks cool, but looks ain't going to get it. It's what comes forth from it that's going to make things happen. You can look as good as you want to look, and for some of us, it's not as hard as others, and for some of us, it's easier than it is others. But your looks ain't going to get you into heaven. You can't buy, everybody says, you started left, you had to get on your looks. Well, you're going to end up being punished forever if you're trying to get into heaven on your looks. You've got to get in by giving your heart and life to God, plugging into that power, and then following what He tells you to do. Listen to this. I've been reading through getting stuff ready for Easter. We need to stop fighting. We need to stop complaining. And we need to stop getting mad at somebody else because they're doing something for God and we ain't, And we need to start doing what we're supposed to do. Jesus is going here to the Garden of Gethsemane, John chapter 18. It says, when Jesus had spoken these words, He went forth with His disciples over to the brook Cedron, where had a garden, or where there was a garden, into which He entered and His disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed Him, knew the place, for Jesus oftentimes resorted there with His disciples. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and the Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons. Jesus, therefore, knowing all things that would come upon Him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye? They answered and said, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus said unto them, I am He. And Judas also, which betrayed Him, stood with them. And as soon as He had said these things unto them, I am He, they went backward and fell to the ground. And then He asked them again, Who seek ye? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. And Jesus answered and said, I've told you that I am He. If therefore you seek me, let these go their way, that the saying might be fulfilled, which He spoke of them, of which they gave us me, have I lost none. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it, and smote the high priest's servant, and cut off his right ear. And the servant's name was Malchus. Then said Jesus unto Peter, Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which the Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? Jesus is praying. He's out over here in the garden with His disciples, and they're just relaxing, knowing what's fixing to happen. And it says all of a sudden, here comes Judas bringing a group of soldiers, bringing a group of men coming with them. They got torches, they got lanterns. And it says here they come, and they're coming to get Jesus. Now, Jesus already knew what was going on. It says He could see that this was happening. And I love what the Bible said that He did. It says He rose up and went and met them. If there's something I can tell you, if there's a fire, run to the fire. Don't run away from the fire if that's what you've got to do. If there is a situation going on in your life, don't run away and think, oh, I'm just going to run from it, it's going to finally get over. No, stand up and face your situation. I'm not saying be confrontational, but what I'm saying is stand up and see what's going on. Go ahead and stop it before it gets started. It's so much easier to put out a little fire than it is a big fire. Years and years and years ago, I'm going to say, I don't know, 20 years ago, we're sitting at the house on a Christmas Eve, and we're getting things ready for the next day, and a candle. We had some candles on the table, and next thing you know, we had the candles going. Kelly went one way, I went the other way, come back into the living room, and I'm sitting there, and you know how y'all can see flashes of light sometimes? I'll see a little flash of light, and I look, and the candle had melted and turned over, and there was the tablecloth, and it had caught the tablecloth on fire. So now I got a little fire going over here on the tablecloth. Luckily, I was able to jump up and be in my right senses, go and open up the door and grab the tablecloth and took it out and, threw it all out on the back porch and got everything all stomped out. But had I waited, let's just say had I waited or not been there, or had run out the other door, what would have happened? Eventually, not only would the tablecloth caught on fire, the table, the floor, the house, and then it would have been so much harder to put out than just going out there and stomping on something. Jesus went to it and said, let's just go ahead. I know what's going on. Let's just go ahead and get this fire out. I'm going to tell you, yes. They said, who are you looking for? He said, we're looking for Jesus. I am He. And it says, they looked. And it says, I said, we're looking for Jesus. He said, I'm telling you, that is me. And I love what the people did. You see, everybody wasn't against Jesus. Everybody knew that Jesus had been doing good. He had been healing. But of course, Satan didn't like what was going on. So he sat and stirred up the emotions of the crowd and was getting Jesus pulled in. But it says, as he came to them, it says they fell upon their faces and upon their knees. Folks, when we meet Jesus one day, the Bible tells us that every knee is going to bow and every tongue is going to confess that He is Lord. Be it the one of His disciples that say, yes, that is Jesus, or be it some of Satan's army that's coming up to Him. Every day, one day, the Bible says that even their knees are going to bow. They're going to be cut to the quick. They're going to fall on their face before Jesus. They might have been thinking they was an army come to raise Him, come to kill Him, come to take Him away. But you don't do that to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. These people had the right fear of God, and it says they fell down upon their face and they was afraid. They realized what He had the power to do. But Jesus, of course, is just like, here I am. What do you want? So I know what you're coming to do. You come to take me in, don't you? And they're like, yes, we do. They said, well, let my other people, let these people go. Isn't that kind of how Jesus did us with the whole story? Hey, put me on the cross. Let me die for their sins. Let them go. Let them be forgiven. And it says that, all of a sudden Peter, we all know Peter. Well, Peter's got that certain attitude about him, how shall we say. Sometimes he lets that alligator mouth overload that tadpole backside and he gets himself in trouble. But it says Peter draws out a sword and runs and swings and cuts off the high priestess's right ear. Make sure I got the right side here. Cuts off his ear. Now what did Jesus turn and tell him? Peter, put up your sword. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Jesus. I'm sitting here defending you. Can you imagine what's going through Peter's mind? They ain't going to take you from me. I'm here. I'm going to sit there and protect you. I'm going to stand before you. Put up your sword, Peter. Get to thinking about this. Peter was a fisherman. What is a fisherman doing with a sword anyways? I can see a fillet knife. Maybe something to, help put the line on. But why does a fisherman need a sword? Peter was trying to be something that he couldn't, that he wouldn't. He also was pretty bad at it too, because you figure if a guy's standing there, right there in front of you, and he don't know you're coming, and you come with him with a big old sword, and you swing and you almost miss, you miss his whole head, and you can only cut an ear off, you ain't very good at what you're trying to do either. Unless he was that good that he can sit here just to warn him, but I don't think so. He was going in for the kill. He was going in trying to protect Jesus, trying to save him. And he missed the whole guy's head and almost missed him entirely and barely got his ear. Why? Because Peter was not a warrior. Peter was not a fighter. He was not a soldier. He was not trained. He was trained to be a fisher. Jesus said, yeah, you're a fisherman. Come on. I'm going to make you a fisher of men. Peter was trying to be something that he couldn't be, and he almost failed totally, miserably. And what did Jesus tell him? Put that up. Put it up. You don't even know how to use it. But don't you know, he turned later on to him and said, but Peter, you're going to be used in another way later. Oh, we can look at the day of Pentecost when everything come full swing. Who's the one that stepped out with boldness? It was Peter. He said, oh, let me tell you what's going on right now. Let me tell you just where Jesus has, y'all might have crucified him on the cross, but he has risen from the dead. Let me share the news with you. He has sent his Holy Spirit to us. He has baptized us in the Holy Ghost. The one that you thought you was going to kill, he has now risen up. He is the one. Peter was set to be a fisher of men. He was set to be somebody. His talent was in talking. His talent was in being a leader. His talent was in going out and winning souls to God, not to be a warrior. Each one of us has talents and skills and stuff within us that somebody else do not have. You might be or does not have. You might be the toaster. You might not can shine a light, but you can cook up the bread. You might not be you might be a microphone that you can go out and tell. You might have skills within you that somebody else doesn't have, and God knows what's in you, and so do you. So don't be afraid to use it. Don't try to copy yourself into being somebody else or into being like somebody else. You have to realize what your strengths are. And sometimes it gets scary when we have to realize, now wait a minute. I only do this to get by in life. Well, who do you think put that there for you? It was God. Who do you think gave you that? It was God. And God tells you to use it. And when you use it, if you go and work out, whichever muscle you want to, you work out when you do your curls, your biceps are going to build. Unless you're curling pasta to your mouth, then your stomach muscles are going to build. Okay? Whatever you use is going to build up. Plain and simple. Use what God has given you. Don't be afraid to use it. As a matter of fact, the Bible says to, get comfortable, get in yourself and realize, I am this. This is who God's called me to be. And I'm going to be the best, me, that I am. And I'm going to walk with God. And the more I walk, the bigger and the better my gifts are going to get. And the more people I'm going to be able to reach, because God's allowing me to be me. Of course, He created me, but He's allowing me to be me, and He's strengthening me and letting me grow within myself. All right? As we continue in this ministry, we've got to define ourselves. In our walk, we've got to figure out who we are, what we are, and then grow through that. Well, let's go back to David. Everybody know David was a musician. Boy, David could play that harp. The Bible says when Saul would give one of his tirades and one of his rampages, they would call for David to come in there, and David could just play on that harp. And as the music goes, or as the saying goes, the music would calm the savage beast. He could play that harp, and it said that that Saul would he would calm back down. He'd get peace within his heart. David was talented with that harp. He could calm the king. David knew what he was doing, and he would use that gift. But David also had more than one, just like some of us do. David also, it says, as a little boy around the 14 age, he goes out to see his brothers, and they're out here at war. And here's this giant down there in the bottom hollering back out all kind of blasphemous and bad remarks towards Israel and God. And David says, why don't somebody go fight him? They say, yeah, right, you are going to do your death. And David says, you know what? I'm not going to put up with it. I'm going to go. So they take David, they take him over to Saul. And in the book of 1 Samuel, it says, Saul armed him with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. He armed him with a coat of mail, and then he girded up his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had proved it not. Here's little runny David. Saul, remember what the Bible said? Saul stood a head above everybody else. Here's David, little runny kid, going out there. Man, that's a Peanuts cartoon waiting to happen. He's got this helmet on. He's got the sword, the armor, on his chest. He's got everything ready to go to battle. that Saul always took to battle. He's got everything going to do the Lord's work that Saul always took. And it says he started to walk, probably tripped, probably fell, who knows, but he realized, this ain't mine. I can't use this. This is going to get me killed. This is going to end up hindering me more than helping me. And it says he started taking off the helmet. He took it off, took it out, took it out. He said, Saul, this ain't mine. I've never proved this. I don't use this. This is not what I've got. This is not my talent. This is not my gift. I can't go out and face this giant the same way you did. He said, but I remember when I was just a little kid, God taught me one thing. He taught me how to use these hands, and He taught me how to use a rock, and He taught me how to use a sling. And one time a bear come in there and tried to get in the camp, and one time a lion come in and tried to take a lamb. But with these hands and with God and with this rock, I was able to defeat the lion, and I was able to defeat the bear, and I was able to save the lamb and bring it back. He said, I'm going to go to battle with what God has given me. I'm going to go to battle with what God has entrusted in me. I'm going to go to battle knowing something that I proved. God has shown me how to use a rock. God has blessed me as a child to be able to hit what I was throwing at. As a kid, man, we had one of those, I guess it was a Red Ryder, I don't know what it was, Daisy. But Daisy BB gun, you know, pop it one time. And I'd go out there and there'd be birds all in the trees around our house. I'd be like, tink. And you can watch that BB go out and turn. You know, he just turns. So you figure out, okay, missed it that time. Adjust a little bit, you know, tank. I mean, I never hit a bird, period. For years, I never hit a bird. Never. Watched the BB go one way or another. Finally, one day, boy, I go out there and tank. I shoot. Got the bird. I watched the bird fall. I'm like, yeah, now this ain't nothing like how we used to go dove hunting and quail hunting. You know, Dad would always go hunting. It wasn't nothing like that. This was just out there seeing if I could hit something with this crazy BB gun. And I watched that bird fall. I'm like, huh, I did it. And that was all I could say. There was no joy, there was no nothing. Then the next thing come to my mind was, oh my Lord, my mama is going to kill me. I done killed one of her songbirds out here. For no reason, but I have killed a bird out here just to see if I could. Now, that was not something that took me years and years and years and years and years to be able to do. Then I ended up, like I say, killing a bird that you couldn't even eat. I was doing something, using something I had no business doing something I had no business doing because the end outcome was not what I was wanting anyways. And I didn't get anywhere with it, and guess what? I stopped. If you sit out there and you're trying to do what God has called or what you think He's called you to do, and you're out there and you're working, but you're sitting there trying your best to be like somebody else. Oh, I saw on TV this preacher, this is the way he said to do stuff. I went to a class, I went to a seminar, and this is the way it said to go out and win souls. And you're out there trying. You might be like me and you might have that BB gun, and next thing you know it's shooting one way, it's shooting the other. You ain't never going to hit, you ain't never going to miss. And if you ever do finally succeed, it's not going to be exactly what you thought it was because it's not the way that you should have done it. And chances are you're going to get confused and frustrated and never continue what God wants you to do. You've got to find out you know what they are, what your gifts are, what your talents are, and use those in God's kingdom. Listen to what Proverbs says. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth before him great men. Your gift is going to grow the more you use it. Your talent is going to increase the more you use it, and you're going to be able to bring folks in. Man, if you can play an instrument and play it for the glory of God. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. But play it and watch God increase that gift you got. If you can sing a song, go out there and sing a song and watch God increase. If you find your gift is throwing rocks, like David did, for goodness sakes, go throw rocks where God tells you to throw them, and only get the attention as God's telling you to get that attention. But do what you're supposed to do. If you're supposed to be a fisherman, then go out and fish, but don't try to take a sword to a fishing contest. You're not going to win. You're not going to do what you're not going to be successful. Use what God has got for you. Paul understood this when he was talking to Timothy. He said, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on of hands. And he says, but meditate upon these things, and give thyself wholly to them that thy profiting may appear unto all. Folks, your gifts, using them in a godly way for God, your gifts are going to take you to where you need to be. They're going to elevate you as you're elevating the kingdom in due time and in due season. You're going to be blessed. But if you neglect it, then what's going to happen? If you don't use something, it does just the opposite. It shrinks and shrivels away. Next thing you know, you're scared to use it too, ain't you? You know, you get, well, I hadn't done that in a long time. All of a sudden somebody asks you, can you do this? Well, I just hadn't done it. Well, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing it anymore. God is telling us, use what I have given you. Oscar Wilde, the American playwright and whatever else titles he held, said to be yourself, everyone else is taken. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken. I used to, when I was first getting started in the ministry, I probably cheated myself out, but one time I heard somebody tell somebody else, man, you must watch so-and-so, you preach just like them. And I thought, Lord, I don't ever want that to happen to me. I don't want somebody to think I'm copycatting somebody. I want to be yours. And I used to never, I'd turn off TV. I wouldn't listen to preachers. I wouldn't listen to anybody I know, because then somebody's going to say, you preach just like them. I didn't want to be known as a copycat preacher, which is nothing wrong with preaching the gospel, but God showed me way back then, be yourself. I called you to do this. I didn't tell somebody else. I'm telling you. God tells each one of us and calls each one of us to do certain things. Jeremiah 1:5 says, I knew you while you was in your mother's womb. I knew you. I called you. He knew us before we was even born. He was putting those pieces and those parts inside us to make us who we are, so that He could use us for that person that we could be. Bill Gates, I know everybody knows who that is, says, don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you so do, then you are insulting yourself. God made each one of us an original and put original parts and ideas in each one of us, original gifts, but then He wants us to use them and give it back, and He will bless and multiply. Jesus said this, He said, Peter, put up your sword into your sheath. This ain't you, Peter. This isn't your time. This isn't your process. This is not what I need for you. I need you later. I don't need you to get here in the midst of a fight that you're not going to be prepared for. I don't need you to be here putting in your 2 cents when your 2 cents doesn't need to be here. I'm going to have you later. I've got you for another spot. I might have you for an usher. I might have you for somebody to pray constantly. I might have you for somebody to sing. I might have you for somebody to call out and do some work. But I've got you something else, Peter. It's going to be later on. What I need you to do now is put it up. I've got another battle for your talents. And God tells each one of us the same thing. Put your sword up, unless I'm the one that's giving it to you. But it doesn't say sit down. He says go out and use what I have given. John 18:11. Matthew 5:13 says, "You are the salt of the earth," Jesus tells us. "But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." He says, "You're the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." I never realized there were so many salts. I really didn't until, you get to go in places. Man, there's pink salt, white salt, blue salt, yellow salt. There's iodized salt. Then of course, they Himalayan rock salt. There's all kind of salts. Man, salt, salt, salt. Each one of them has a purpose. There's kosher salt, They watch all these cooking shows. They're like, oh, I prefer this kind of salt. I prefer this kind. Each one of them does something different. But the Bible still says we're all salt. We're all supposed to be the salt that we are. Used in different things, used in different ways, used in different purposes, but we're all salt. He says, what happens if the salt, go ahead and come to the instruments. What happens if the salt loses its savor? What if it loses what it's supposed to do? Well, if it's just going to lose it, if there's no more taste, if it can't spice things up, if it can't season, if it can't, revitalize something, if it can't save stuff, you can cure stuff out with salt. If it has lost all of its power, because it's gotten old, it hadn't gotten used, you might as well be cast out and stepped on. In other words, you got any mud hose? I told Mom she's got a few little mud hoses in the driveway. I said, well, I can come throw some, some quickcrete in there, then when it rains, it'll harden up, and then we don't got a mud hose anymore, You can take that salt and you can just throw it out there and fill in the potholes, I guess. But God didn't make us to be pothole village, He made us to be soul winners. We all got that among us. We're all to be soul winners, but He also gives us all different ways, man. Different ways to do it. How we act, our personalities. There are some personalities that just hit, You can tell somebody, oh yeah, I can hit it off with them anytime. They bring this, we good. But then there's some that's like, bam, it's a clash. It bounces off. But guess what? God's got somebody, might not be you, but God's got somebody that's going to be able to interact with them and they're going to be able to hook up. I can't do it probably with somebody, but somebody else can. Jeff, put your sword back up on this one. Go do what you're supposed to do over here. I've called you to do this. God calls us to do things. Because each one of us, you've got certain gifts and talents within you. Use them, and I'm going to increase them. Use them and they're going to grow, and you're going to see how much easier it becomes. If it's throwing rocks, if it's fishing, if it's fighting, if it's talking, if it's teaching, if it's preaching, if it's singing, if it's playing an instrument, whatever it is, you know what's in there. God knows what's in there. And God wants to use it. But it's up to us. We have to allow Him to use it. Because if we don't, He's not going to make us. Prime example. When Jesus is coming in on the parade on Palm Sunday, we celebrate Palm Sunday. He's coming in through the parade. It says all the crowds gathered around with the palm leaves. He's riding the donkey. He's coming into town. Everybody, ooh, Jesus, Hosanna in the highest, Hosanna to the King, Hosanna. And all the Pharisees tell Jesus, hey, tell these folks to shut up over here. Tell these folks to keep quiet. Jesus said, no, I ain't going to do it. But even if they was to be quiet, those rocks will cry out to me. If we don't use our talents and our gifts that God has given to us, somebody will either get your talent or God will have a rock do it for you. Do you want a rock to get your blessing? Do you want somebody else to reap your reward? Stand to your feet this morning. Keep playing. Stand to your feet. Bow your heads.